Oh, continue.
hmm Good morning, afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Mhm.
Hi.
Hi. So to start, would you just like to say your name and where you are?
My name is Daniel Bąk. I live in Warsaw, Poland.
Okay. And how are you?
And now I'm actually at home.
Oh.
So this is weekend. I'm at home.
Mhm.
How am I?
Mhm.
I'm fine. A bit distressed. As a short introduction with you before we started, I told you that I'm really bothered that maybe I will lose my English fluency in the middle of the interview. But yeah, so this is a bit distressing.
Well,
Uh,
and it's not a problem. There's no obligation to speak English. We could
uh,
change languages partway through.
from the rational point of view, I know it's not a problem. Yeah,
But I
but
know.
is it there? Yeah.
Mhm. And if I ask the question in English and you want to answer in Polish, I won't understand it right now, but I will understand it when you translate
Okay.
later.
All right.
So,
Okay.
well, the first question that I do have is who are you as a person? And this can be
Huh.
about your interests, your passions, your values, however you'd like to express yourself.
Hmm. Gosh, it's a great question. Um, it's interesting because it seems that it has not been changing um, through time for a couple of years. Um, I was asked this question first during one of workshops. We were asked about other identities, and I'm a parent. I'm a dad, and yeah, this is very important to me. Um, the second thing I think is I'm a partner. I live in a relationship, and this is important. The third thing would be I am a psychotherapist. Uh, yeah, I do a lot associated with it in terms of, education, delivering psychotherapy, delivering workshops. Yeah, this is a big part of my life.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm a friend. I have great friends. I'm a friend. Yeah, as for now, this is
Mhm.
it.
Okay. Um, those sort of sound like some roles, but are there any qualities about yourself that you would say really describe who you are?
Oh, I think that it describes who I am. Um, really, I find them, those you call them roles, I find them as part of my identity. Maybe if you told me what do you mean by qualities, maybe it would be for me, easier to answer.
No, no, there was nothing wrong with your answer. I was just
Yeah,
curious
right.
if there were other words. It just curiosity. Because I think you're right. I think
Like
that
you
the
mean
way you
like,
describe yourself, that is a description. You're right.
all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So another question that I have is what event or circumstance would you say in your life
Yeah.
has shaped who you are as a person?
Um, I wanted to start with, it's obvious. I don't know if it's obvious, but for me, it's obvious. My childhood, for sure. somehow it was, just a straight way to psychotherapy as a client
Mhm.
and later as a psychotherapist. When I started my psychotherapy as a client, I know totally nothing about psychotherapy. I wasn't even aware that there are some modalities. So, it was for me like whatever. I just was looking for a psychotherapist. So this for sure. Um, yeah, my marriage. Um, my coming out as a, I don't know what would be the best to name it, as a queer guy, as a gay guy. Um, it's not it's not obvious to me. I saw those labels as identities, and I know that the content of the label is a bit different in the US, in the UK, in Poland. So it's somewhere there, between queer and gay. My parenthood. My parenthood. Um, I remember that one of my teachers in psychotherapy, she quoted somebody else, but she said that if you are a parent, you actually know everything, in terms of psychotherapy. So I understand what it was about. Obviously, it's not everything, uh, but yeah, I learned a lot about myself as a person, about children, so about my childhood.
Mm.
It is a kind of, parallel process for me when you have a child.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Self-relation development
yeah,
theory.
yeah,
There's a
yeah,
lot of learning.
yeah, yeah. And observing how you do it as a parent right now, and what you experienced as a child from your parents.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Okay. Um, Another question is, obviously we are relational beings.
yeah.
So is there another person who stands out to you as a person in your life who is an influence or has impacted who you are or how you are?
When you say stand out, please use another verb.
Yeah, just a person who comes to mind, a person.
All right. Uh, as a great support in everyday life, you mean?
Could be a great support. It could be someone who's traumatized you horribly.
Oh God.
But no, someone who has influenced you, who has changed who you are.
All right. I know my parents, obviously.
Do you want to say anything about how?
Um, not too much. Uh, um, it was a tough story, so not too much.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, maybe even
Mhm.
that's
Did,
enough.
did someone come to mind as a great support that you said?
Um, in everyday life now, yes. My friends, obviously. My friends, my partner. Yeah, for sure. He's this kind of person who, influenced me. Relationship with him influenced me a lot in a way I really do appreciate. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. So, what about Gestalt? How did you, with
Yeah.
your history, yourself, how did you find Gestalt? How did you come to it?
Right. Um, well, it is a history associated with my with me looking for psychotherapy at some point in my life. It was actually quite long ago because I think it was 2001. So yeah, many years ago. And now I know that my first psychotherapist was a psychodynamic one. And it was very useful because that therapist helped me to name different aspects of my life, which caused a lot of pain at that time. But you know, I had to pay for it. And for sure, I needed somebody who would who would like to be in a dialogue with me. So, you know, more exchange.
Mhm.
There was no that much exchange with her. So I started looking for something what would be free of charge, and yeah, it was the most important thing. And I have found a group delivered by a kind of foundation for children, adolescents and students, families, something like this. And there was a program. Uh, it's your dog. So, and there was a program. Uh, it was, I think, 1 year long psychotherapy with two trainers, therapists, and I loved it. I just knew this is it. A lot of exchange, a lot of um, a lot of very direct support. And after some time, I got interested in psychotherapy till that time. After some time, I knew they both were Gestaltists. So, yeah, I even remember uh, a small talk with that therapist, one of them, a guy who I told, you know, I would be in a future a psychotherapist like you. Also, in a sense that I would like to be a gestaltist. I just wanted to do psychotherapy that way, and I did it.
And what is that way? What is it specifically about Gestalt that caught you?
Dialogue, for sure. So they were not silent in front of my pain, in front of my struggle. Uh, they were talking with me. Um, there was a lot of experiment. Sometimes it was confusing. Sometimes I didn't want to do it. Now, when I work as a psychotherapist, experiments are not my main, way of working with people. But at that time, it was very useful. Um, it was relational, so they were reacting, in response to me. So there was something about them, but in response to what I'm saying, to what I'm doing, to what I'm feeling, what I'm imagining, and so on and so on. So I really felt seen, and it was marvelous. Yeah, yeah. I think at that time it was this.
Okay.
Uh,
And what is it that you have done with Gestalt? I mean, I'm assuming you did your training, and what kind of what is your area? What is your work? What are the things that you most enjoy doing as a therapist?
But you mean what is my special field in psychotherapy?
Mhm.
Or all right, um, for sure. As a result of my personal struggle and my personal history, um, I I did specialize in LGBT plus issues. So it's actually my main area of interests and my main area of work. I have a special devoted to this group of people, group of clients program of psychotherapeutic psychological support and help located in Warsaw. But I also deliver workshops also in this topic for different kind of helping professionals. Yeah, so this is what I did with
Mhm.
Gestalt.
And what did Gestalt do to you? How has it affected you as a person?
Hmm, very nice question. Um, I do obsessively think, but obsessively in a positive sense. Obsessively think about what is happening to me and what is happening to others in terms of relations. So, and I cannot stop. There is no other way. Um, so this is one thing for sure. It will not be about Gestalt only, but it is something what I learned during my training, during my years and years of psychotherapy. I'm really a veteran. Um, what do you feel right now? You know,
Mhm.
this question, which sometimes drives people crazy. Uh, yeah, because this is my first question I want to ask, and it's not a very frequently asked question.
Mhm. I
Never,
never know when I start an interview, should I ask how you are or should I not? Because
yeah,
it can lead so many places.
yeah,
Very dangerous
exactly,
question, very
exactly,
useful
yeah,
question.
yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Focus on body, on how do I embody my experiences. When I started with psychotherapy, in terms also with, as a client, I wasn't really good at it. So this is my change. It's better. It's not very good, but it's better. And this is absolutely something associated with my Gestalt training and my Gestalt training psychotherapy. Yeah. Um, what else? Uh, well, maybe it's not associated that much with my Gestalt training, because in that training, in it, there is embedded a kind of paradox. Was maybe something has changed, but on the one hand, we were taught humanistic existential ideas about people, life, interactions, exchange between people. So there was also phenomenological stance of not labeling. In the same time, my Gestalt during training was highly influenced by psychodynamic theory. So there is a lot of labeling. Um, and I don't like it, to be honest. This labeling part. I do believe that if I'm, you know, aware enough during the session, in a contact with myself and with a client, phenomenological description of what is happening will be enough to understand the process and the client and myself in this process. So I was lucky enough to meet a supervisor. He is not a Gestalt supervisor. He's humanistic with some influences from other schools, but yeah, humanistic supervisor, let's call him. And he works exactly like this. So there is not that much of labeling, there is description. And my feeling is, I don't know if people in my everyday life would agree with me, but my feeling is that I don't do it. I don't label that much. I don't think I'm free of this habit, but I think I don't do it that much, and this is great. I'm more interested of what has happened or what is happening between us than in labeling and being abusive somehow doing it. Yeah. I said a lot positive things about myself. I hope that it will meet, impression of others.
I'm just asking, there's.
Oh, I'm blushing. God.
All right, you look lovely.
Oh, thank
So now you'll blush more.
you.
No.
Gosh.
The another question that I have,
Yeah.
maybe this is some of the not so lovely things or some of the more difficult things. What are some of the challenges that you have faced? Some of the things that have not been easy for you within Gestalt, either for you as a person in Gestalt or taking Gestalt to different places in your life or in your work.
Mhm. But you mean Gestalt in a sense of theory and practice, or Gestalt world, so world full of Gestalt therapists around?
It can be any way. I mean, where have the difficulties been for you?
All right, all right. I can share something which is not valid at all right now, but was a kind of difficulty for quite some time in the past. So my feeling that somehow Gestalt is deficient modality in psychotherapy. So this impression that there was lacking something in it. Because in the field of Polish Gestalt, at the time I was in training, there was no that much of literature, translations, and so on. So there was impression of, symbolically 2 books, not 2 books, but not many of them in Gestalt area, and a library of psychodynamic literature. Later, among others, I become a member of AGT, and I got into contact with Gestalt in the English-speaking world with this robust literature in the subject. And what I'm sure now is that everything is okay with Gestalt. It's rather the case of finding proper teachers, buying books on Amazon, and having more and more translations in Polish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was one thing. This paradox of humanistic ideas and psychodynamic theory, and to some extent practice, it wasn't working for me. So, you know, I had to deal with it somehow. But it was something from the Polish background. It's not about Gestalt
Okay.
in general. I faced homophobia during my training. It was horrible. It was horrible.
I'm sorry.
Um, also, in my psychotherapy, it was even worse. Even worse. Yeah. So it was something from Gestalt field here in maybe not only in Poland, but I live here, so from Gestalt field in Poland. Yeah, but it happened. What's more? This is what I have in my mind right now.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And this is another, it's a term, a concept that I hear in different places, and I
Yeah.
wonder if it's a concept that is relevant to you. Do you feel like you're part of a Gestalt community? Does that mean anything to you?
Yes.
Mhm. What is
Yes.
that experience like for you?
Um, as for now, I'm definitely more associated with AAGT as I am with PTPG in Poland. So this is Gestalt organization in Poland. The reason is I had to find my Gestalt home for some time after having finished my training. At that time, I had not found Polish Gestalt welcoming, probably mainly because of my sexual identity. So I found that home in AADT. Yes, totally. Uh, I do remember um, my my meeting with Lynn Jacobs in where was it? In California. Where were we?
In Asilomar in California.
Asilomar. Yes, she was the first person I think the first person I met after I woke up in the morning after many hours of flying from Europe to the US. And we met before in Edinburgh, in the UK. So I met, I know her, I knew her, and she knew me. And we met, and she said to me, Daniel, here you can talk about yourself. And it was one of the most supportive things I could hear that time.
Mm,
So yes, I feel a part of community when I am on AGM, annual general meeting. I feel that we discuss issues which are somehow also my issues and my difficulties in this organizations if they are difficulties in this organization, in this community.
mm.
And now I'm getting more involved with PTPG in Poland, with Gestalt organization in Poland. This is my very conscious move to do that. I want to do this. This is also my home. The most time during the year I'm spending here and not.
Especially this year.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Wow, that's exciting.
Hmm.
So I guess the last question I really have
Yeah.
is what instead of challenges, what would be some of your greatest memories or one of your moments where you say, this is it. This is right. This is me. This is significant. And it can either be in Gestalt or as a person. I'm sort of interested either
Mhm.
way.
Mhm. My God, Heather,
Sorry.
Heather. No, I should have an after. No,
Hmm.
like the most significant. For sure, mm, a workshop with Lynn Jacobs in Edinburgh, personally and as a professional. Mm, one more than one.
No, no, that's fine. You can say
Watching,
more about it if you want to. If
uh,
you want to, that's fine.
watching The Hours
Hmm.
by Stephen Daldry.
Okay.
Have you seen this
No.
film? Yeah. Oh my God. It's really, an embodied feeling with with kind of shaking inside. It's really important.
Hmm.
Mm, yeah,
Hmm.
let's leave it like this.
Okay. That sounds fun. Now I have to watch that movie now.
Do it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I will. And I would ask if there's anything else you would like to add, or if,
I would like to say thank you for invitation.
oh, thank
That I
you.
can be, a human of Gestalt, one among them.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.